Hi, scientists. So today we're going to be talking about a science term that is really, really important when we start to collect data, and that word is observation. Say that word with me. Observation. And that's when we look with our eyes and we use science tools to find out things about a subject. So we're going to observe something here in a minute, but I want to go over what an observation is with you. Okay, so on here, let's see. Okay, so right here it says, how do scientists observe? Now remember, observe means to look at something. They look carefully. They notice the properties. They might notice that it has a smell or a taste. Don't taste everything, but sometimes it does. We need to listen carefully to the object, touch and feel the textures, measure using tools, notice changes, use scientific tools. Now, we talked about those a little bit last week. Think, and then discuss with other scientists. Now, one way you can discuss with other scientists is by making a scientific drawing. So, again, we're going to look closely. They're using a magnifying glass. If you have one at home, awesome, get it out. We'll use that. Draw what you see. So whatever you're looking at, you need to draw it. That way you can tell the other scientist about this. Look again, and then add details to your drawing. If your leaf has veins, put some veins in it. Label veins, points, and stems. So then you need to go back and give some extra information about your drawing, because if I'm looking at this drawing, I didn't see any veins or stems, and when I go to tell other scientists about it, I may not remember what it has. And then it says, write what you see. The leaf has a stem. So after you do your drawing, you also need to write down what you see so you don't forget. So we're going to practice this today. Let's see if I can get out of here. Exit. We're going to go back here. So I have something for us to observe today. Now, you're not going to be able to do everything I'm doing, but I want you to see what a scientist would do. Now, I got flowers on the very first day of school, and this is the only one that's made it so far. So I cut it off, and we're going to do some observations on it today. The first thing I notice when I look at it is its color. What color is it? It's yellow. The other thing I notice are these beautiful long petals. You see those? I also notice that it's really large. So here is my hand, and here is this flower. It's a really big flower, right? I can smell it. You can't smell it at home, but it almost has like a piney scent to it. That's a little bit different than another flower. I also notice that its stem is what color? Green. It also, maybe you can see this, is a little bit fuzzy. It has like a fuzzy feel to it. So now I'm going to make a scientific drawing about this and write what I've observed about it. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure, because remember we said that scientists use science tools. Now if you look at your math manipulative sheet, right here is a number line. Well, it just so happens that number line is about the same as a centimeter. So we're going to use it to measure today. I'm going to put my flower on there and put it all the way down there. See if y'all can see. The flower is about 13 centimeters long. So that's another piece that I could write down and I can write about. What else could I use to help me record some data? Do you remember any of the science tools we used last week? What about a scale? Could I measure this on a scale and figure out how much it weighs? The other thing that it talked about was observing changes. So if I left this on my desk, I could learn a whole lot about what happens when a flower doesn't get any water, right? And every day I could draw a different picture of the changes that happen inside here. What kinds of things would I learn? I'd probably learn where the flower puts water first, right? Because those places are going to be the ones that die fastest. I would probably also learn how the petals fall off of these flowers. Because in nature, maybe we don't see that, but I might see that the inside petals fall off off first, or the outside. That's another thing scientists do. They make predictions. That's another word for our board. Prediction. A prediction is just a guess about what might happen. So I predict, because I'm looking and using my powers of observation right here. Do you see how they're hanging down? I think those petals would definitely fall off first. So the ones on the bottom, I think they'll probably fall off first. So now I'm going to make my scientific drawing. I'm going to grab a marker and a board so that y'all can see. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have the right color. And I'm going to record what I saw. So I saw lots of this. Long, skinny, and then there was some behind there. Now, does it have to be perfect? No. Remember that book, Ish? Where we said, it looks flower-ish. That's okay, right? So I've got my flower. Now, I also had a stem on that flower, didn't I? So I'm going to grab out my green, and I'm going to draw the stem right there. And my stem kind of had a stuff that touched the flower. I'm not really sure. So now I'm going to label this, because that was the next step, right? Okay, so petals, and then I've got a stem. Now, lastly at the bottom, I'm going to write at least one sentence about this. I might write two, okay? So I'm going to write the flower is, I'm going to write that 13 centimeters long. So now I have writing, so I won't forget it. I have a drawing that will remind me what the flower looked like. And later on, I'll be able to tell other scientists about it. Okay? So now it's your turn.